Hello, Epic 7. I'm back from my weekend of fighting, feasting, frolicking, and debauchery, and whew, man, am I tired. But what a great weekend. Sorry my voice is a little bit shot from all of the screaming, but here is our video for today. Here's the maps for floor number 3, more completed, and also the map that has my guild's pathing. You can feel free to use this if you like. Here's a more complete map of floor number 4, as well as the pathing that I've mapped out that we're planning on taking for floor 4, as well as the instructions. Now, make sure before you jump in, you collect your rewards. A lot of experience points in there can possibly level you up. Always something you should do before you start your day. Now, this is actually yesterday. This is day number 6. I got home pretty late last night, early enough to record this footage, but not early enough to get a video up. So my guild's ahead of me, so I'm playing catch up. I'm going to run up here and grab the Soul Weaver statue. Now remember, before you use any statue, you want to make sure that the class level is maxed out. Mine is. I can't raise my Soul Weavers any higher, so it's safe to grab that statue. Now hopefully we get a good relic here. I do have an empty spot for relics. You always want to check before you use a relic statue. Nothing here too exciting, so I'll grab the provisions. That'll help me catch back up to the guild. Checking this tent, there is still uses on the tent, so I'll snag that on the way by. Guild already dropped this Bridge Guardian, and just walking around leveled me up. So we'll go ahead and spend these class enhancement points. My Soul Weavers are already maxed, but I can bump Warriors up one more level. So next I'll slide on down to this scroll over here. I've not had a lot of luck with scrolls. I keep getting the 400 EXP one or getting the one that kills 2 of my units, so hopefully this one is different. Man, is anybody else having this experience with scrolls? Are there scrolls out there other than the ones that kill 2 of your units or only give you 400 experience points? Because it seems like that's all I'm getting. I'm on the fence of not taking scrolls anymore. At least it killed 2 units I probably am not going to need for the Warden fight. Okay, I still recommend you check, but I knew right offhand that I had room for a relic, so I'm going to grab this bronze ring. It's going to give me a lot of experience points when I use objects. Because of this, I'm going to go and pick up some books when I come across them, because I'll get a lot of experience points using books. Okay, with 48 provisions left, I should be able to grab some loot. 800 experience from that book. I'll go ahead and grab this treasure chest because it's on the way. I feel like this scroll's a trap. Every time I touch a scroll, my units die or I get garbage, so... Wow. I guess I walked right into that one. 2 more units dead. Who's it taking from me? Oh god, it took 2 units I really wanted to use on the Warden. Okay, so we're going to do a Warden fight without Conqueror Lilius and without Kitty Clarissa. What kind of Warden is this? Okay, it's the Burning Eye Lich, so it's the fire type Warden, so non-fire units have reduced attacks, speeds, and defense. For your supports, that's not that big of a deal, but you want to make sure your DPS is a water type. So Luna or Sigrid are your obvious choice. After that, we're just going to support, and one of the best supports is going to be Camilla, especially on Benimaru's artifact. She'll practically double the damage of Luna and act as our second DPS. We'll take Acades as a healer. A water healer might be a little safer, but I just like how fast Acades generates souls and keeps the healing flowing. And we'll take Mediator Queric, his barriers, his attack buffs, his cleanse, his pushes. He's just overall a powerhouse for this. Put a DPS artifact on Luna. And I got, of course, Benimaru's artifact on Camilla. I put Warhorn on Mediator Queric because that's just what he normally wears. And Acades, you just want a healing artifact like Unfading Memories or Rod of Amaryllis.
anything for her.
Now in this fight, I'm going to start it out with an attack buff on everybody and get immunity up. The immunity is really not that important, but the attack buff sure is. If there's no defense break on the target, you want to lead with Luna's S3 to try to establish a defense break. If there's already a defense break, her S1 usually does more damage. And when I say usually, it's because Luna's S1 either hits 3, 4, or 5 times. 4 or 5 times into a defense break is more damage than her S3. 3 times is just sad.
I'm on my way.
There is a 5 hit for 138k. We're going to probably clear this Warden in 1 round. We'll put shields up and an attack break.
Don't be scared.
Anytime you get a chance to soul burn Luna, you should do it.
I will shatter you.
I'm sensing corrupt energy.
Everyone, I'll save you. Vitality, rush forth.
S3 to top off health and get some souls. Now even though Camilla has an attack buff, we use the S2 to give the attack buff to Luna as well. There is no defense break, so I should have soul burned there, but I got greedy and just tried to do it without a soul burn, and it cost me some points because now Luna can't drop a nuke into the defense break. She's got to use her S3 to create a defense break, and we're back on track. Anyway, I think you get the rotation of this. It may not be a full clear team, but it's definitely one of the highest scoring teams, highest damage teams, and you should be able to have 2, maybe 3 people in your guild run this team and clear the burning Eye Lich. Now that the Lich is down, the pathway to the priest is open, and we can start heading that direction. I'm running a little lean on provisions, so I'm not going to get to the priest, but we'll go ahead and work our way up to the North Island. Now this is for the guild leaders, but really anybody can do this. With everything being so symmetrical and there's so many teleports, it's hard to guess which teleports you need to go to. Even zooming out on the map can make it a little difficult, so on the map just walk up to the teleports you want to go to and put some notes on them. I'll tag this one as the right side priest. And then we'll slide over here to this left side one, and we'll give it a real creative name like left side priest. There we go. So now when you use these teleports, you can just keep looking around until you see one with a tag on it. And when you see the tag on it, you can say, okay, well that's obviously the left side one. I wish you could read the tags in this map screen, but anyway, I'm going to go up to this right side priest because I fought the golem in a prior video. I want to do a Banshee fight. So I'll go park myself beside the Banshee and hope the guild doesn't kill it overnight. Now, a friend of mine let me jump on his account real quick to show you this fight. A lot of people say that Ravi can solo the Banshee, and that's true if you're high enough level on warriors. This guy's only level 9, and as you can see, the Banshee just starts to hit harder and harder and harder, and eventually the Banshee will overwhelm you. I don't recommend trying to do solo Ravi on the Banshee unless you have, well, on this Banshee, on this floor 3 Banshee, I think you'd want to be at least level 12 warriors to pull this off. Otherwise, the scaling damage just gets so high. Even with Sigurd's Scythe healing you to full each time, the Banshee's damage is so much she one-shots you. Now, if you want a solid Banshee team that is slow as molasses, but pretty much a guaranteed full clear, again, I say that if your warrior level is high enough. If your warrior levels are not high enough, you just start getting one-shotted by the Banshee. But I think if you're level, I don't know, I'd say if your warriors are level 11 or 12, you'll be fine with this. For this team, we're going to run three healers and a DPS, which really is the quintessential Banshee team. 3 healers plus a DPS can one-shot this with just about any combination, as long as the healers are pushing healers. We're using Lots for his 100% CR push. and Amelia and Doris both have a 50% CR push, and Amelia packs an attack buff. I'm going to use Commander Lorena on a damage artifact because Lorena self-CR pushes when she attacks conditionally, but still, it's additional cycling. This team is not fast. It's pretty slow, but it is a very, very high-scoring team. And even if you're not high enough level to one-shot the Banshee, I think this is the highest-scoring Banshee team to date. Now, every time you hit the Banshee's attack and speed go up. So don't waste attacks with Soul Weavers if you can avoid it. Always use the non-attack skills when they're available so that you don't boost the Banshee's damage and speed. And this is all about just cycling Commander Lorena. When you get further in and the Banshee's getting ready to take a turn anyway, if Doris has her S1 available, she can blind, and Green Lots has an attack break on his S1, so even when your Soul Weavers have to hit the Banshee, they bring something to the team. They bring a heal from Elena, they bring a blind from Doris, they bring an attack break from Lots, and all this can help you survive when the Banshee's damage starts ramping up extra high. This is a very slow team, but if you want to be that guy in your guild that full clears a mini-boss and saves everybody else their provisions, this is the team to use. I'm going to really speed this up to try and ramp through it because I'm not going to subject you to what was about a 20-minute fight. So keep aware of your healers and your health. The Banshee starts hitting harder and harder. The Banshee starts proccing a barrier. When the Banshee procs a barrier, don't try to break it. Just wait until the barrier drops, then Soulburn Commander Lorena into it when the barrier's down. That'll help speed things along. There's a point where the Banshee moves so quick that you will not be able to bust down the barrier even if you Soulburn, and you just kind of waste the good damage from Commander Lorena. Also watch your health. The Banshee starts hitting really hard. There's nothing wrong with Lots CR pushing himself and then going into his S3. There's nothing wrong with Lots pushing Amelia and Amelia healing. Or Amelia, I even had Lots push Doris, Doris pushed Amelia, and Amelia attack buff pushed Commander Lorena. So you can get creative with your CR pushes to keep your team alive and maintain the attack buff on Lorena, generate the souls so that she can soul burn. Okay, I have 3 more uses on this bronze ring, so I want to modify my pathing to go by the books. Day number 7, so my provisions are filled back up. I can head to the south and grab a book over here. I only recommend getting these books if you have the bronze ring or you have the exploration journal. They're a limited use, and if you don't have those artifacts, you really should leave them for other people. Now we'll grab this relic, and you know what? None of these are good for me, so I'll grab the 4-leaf clover. The gold kettle is nice for opening chests, but it wasn't a purple one. At this point in the game, you really want to have a max level gold kettle if you're going to grab it as a relic. We're going to try for one more relic over here. I've got the 4-leaf clover, so something good. Hey, there it is. There's the purple gold kettle, so we'll go ahead and grab that. It would have been nice if we got a warrior or soul weaver relic there, but the gold kettle's nice. Now, the gold kettle boosts currency from chests, and I know I just walked right by a chest, but I've only got 3 uses on that gold kettle, so I'm saving it for floor number 4. Floor number 4, the chests are worth a lot, so that's where I'm going to use that gold kettle. Now, unfortunately, I only have enough provisions to do 1 priest fight, so once again, I'm going to show off what, in my opinion, is the strongest priest team. We take Camilla for dual attacks, we take Conqueror Lilius for vigor, we take Mediator Queric for all that Mediator Queric does, and we take Fire Ken, who is just a powerhouse in this fight. Now, I've learned from my lessons. I put Ken on a debuff proccing artifact instead of a damage artifact. I've got Camilla on Benimara's artifact, the attack buffs are worth, and I put Conqueror Lilius and Mediator Queric both on Junkyard Dog for extra chances to proc debuffs. If you don't have Junkyard Dog, then I would stick Conqueror Lilius on Border Coin just to speed her up. So right at the start, we will activate Vigor. This will allow Ken to guarantee defense break. We didn't get it from the dual attack, so Ken can use his S3 on his, or S2 on his turn. I'm going to put the barriers up first just to help limit incoming damage. Because we have Vigor on Ken, this is a guaranteed defense break. Attacks into the barrier does no real damage. Even though I've got the attack buff, I'll use the S2 to give an attack buff to Ken. Now I know Ken's an attack or an HP scaler, but attack still adds up, so gives him more damage. We dual attack into the defense break.
Stay focused. I never fight a losing battle. In this distorted
And we put immunity up here because next round's attack does not strip immunity, and this will keep the seal and defense buff or defense break from landing on our units. Ken can do his S3. This will refresh his vigor up to 3 turns. 3-turn vigor on Ken. Ken's own vigor application plus Conqueror Lilius's S3. Ken should have vigor up 24/7.
You've got a long way to go, kid. An opening.
Now, as long as the defense break is there, there's no reason to burn Camilla, so I will save the souls. Okay, Mediator Queric's S2 is going to be ready, but not before the priest takes a turn. So I'm going to use the S2. That'll put a barrier on myself and on Mediator Queric and help make them a little bit more survivable.
I'll do anything for her.
Now Mediator Queric can use his S2 and put barriers on the whole team.
Change what is already decided.
We got one more round before the wipe stage, so we'll just land as much damage as we can and try to cycle our skills through. Unfortunate, Benimar's artifact didn't proc.
Sensing corrupt energy.
Free-to-play artifact.
I'll knock your teeth out.
I'm going to save burning the S2 for next round because it's additional sources of souls, or additional sources of debuffs, and I want to have that next round. Okay, so now we're ready. We need to have 3 or more debuffs on the boss to push into the next phase. Now, it looks like we've got it, but if you notice, all the bleeds and burns are 1 turn. That means they'll fall away before the boss takes a turn. The attack and the defense buff are the only ones that will stick, so we need 1 more debuff. Still don't have it. I'll go ahead and put an attack buff up, dual attack, and hopefully we get a proc.
I'll lend you my strength.
Okay, we got Junkyard Dog to proc, so we've got the 2-turn burn, so now we have our 3 debuffs, so we'll be fine going into the next phase. I'll go ahead and just use Queric's S3 to cycle him. Oh wow, I didn't think Ken would cut. Well, this is perfect. So we'll soul burn Ken, which gives him an extra turn.
You're dead. Get a good look at these fists.
Wow. All of that, and we didn't get any additional debuffs. We still only had our 3. That's crazy. But 3's all we need. That progresses us through. Now we use Lilius's S3 to strip the counterattack buff. And we get 15%ed. That's okay. Mediator Queric's right behind. He can use his S2, which should be ready, and he can strip the counterattack buff. Unless we get 15%ed again. Okay, this is a disaster. Both of our strips failed. We're going to eat a lot of counters. Luckily, he's close to taking a turn, and hopefully we can tank it long enough that he takes a turn. And, of course, Ken pushed. Oh, these counterattacks with the poison is just destroying us. Okay, the counterattack is gone, but man, we are messed up here.
If you're scared,
Do I have a cleanse? Oh, I don't even have a cleanse. Everybody's dead. I got a lucky dual attack at least, so there is that. Still no cleanse, so Camilla's going to die from poisons. Ken's going to die from poisons. So not stripping that counterattack buff probably cost us about 2 to 300k damage. I think this could easily have been a 1.9 to 2 million run. But we got real unlucky with RNG because 15% in PvE is still a thing for some reason. But still, 1.68 million in one run. That's a respectable run, and I think you can see that with not having my bad luck, you could have scored much higher on the priest with this team. And that is all for today. Tomorrow we'll start our adventures on floor number 4. I hope this video is helpful to everybody. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Remember to join my Discord, and also remember to like and subscribe. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.